What a beautiful drive it has been today. Hey guys, Dan Greer with Forge coming at you today to talk a little bit about beauty. So today I'm on my way to go teach a class and do some training for an amazing company over here in Cortez, Colorado. And I've been driving down what's called Cherry Creek Canyon. Cherry Creek holds a special place in my heart because my great-great-granddad owns some property down there, and my great aunt owns property down there and stuff like that. And spent quite a bit of time there as a kid growing up, and not on they were my great granddad wasn't alive, but his property was there, and my granddad had bought it from him, and so he had access to it. But I digress. My point is that like the canyon's beautiful, holds a special place in my heart for what it is, and it's spring. The grass is green. There's lots of cows, and calves are down, and they're little itty bitty calves. They're babies. It's so nice to see. Got to see a little itty bitty herd of elk. There's only 2 or 3 in it. A couple flocks of turkeys. But I love the history of it, and I love the beauty. And part of what I want to talk a little bit about today is just enjoying what's around you, right? Taking the scenic route, because all too often we get caught up in getting from point A to point B, and I am 1,000% guilty of this, right? What's the fastest way to get from point A to point B? What's the fastest way to get where I'm going? And instead of enjoying the ride of life, of everything that we got going on, we in turn have a tendency to just try to get there faster. And in all honesty, like, the truth is that I'm not saying it's a bad thing to get places fast, because I love speed. I love getting there. I love getting stuff done. That's part of the world of execution. That's part of being a forged leader, is actually showing up and getting stuff done. But like, part of me is also sitting here thinking, how do we enjoy this ride? Like, I have a kid who's graduating high school this year. I have one that's getting married this year. Crazy, right? Crazy. And I'm super excited about it all. I have a daughter that's going to go do a month-long dance intensive with a Christian ballet company halfway across the country for 4 months, for 4 weeks this summer. We fly out the day after my son's wedding, and we go pick her up like the end of July. Like, it's crazy. But my thing is like, I'm sitting here, and my wife and I are both experiencing the same exact thing, okay? And I'm looking at it as, oh my gosh, just so amazing. Our kids are taking these next steps. And she has to remind herself that these are good next steps, because she's looking at what she's had in the past and kind of what she's missing instead of what she's gaining. And that's super easy. I think a lot of people do that. I think a lot of people look at what they're missing instead of what they're gaining in life. And if you look at what you're missing all the time, you're never going to be satisfied. You're never going to be happy. You're never going to be excited. But if you look at what you're gaining, if you look at what the scenic route does, right, then sometimes that kind of helps you to realize where you're at, what you got going on, and what you've accomplished. So one of the things that I do for my family is I create acrylic pictures, and I'm very good at Photoshop. And so I go through all of our pictures from the previous year. So like 2025. Okay. And that's what I just did this week. And so that's why it's pretty fresh in my brain. But like, I go through all of our pictures and I select the ones that are the best. And I'm very selective. I'm like, oh, this one would be a great one of the kids. This is a great one of the family. Like, and I put like 50 to 55 pictures on this 20 by 30 acrylic. Okay. And I've got every year, 1 year from before we had kids. That includes like our wedding, because we had Billy, our oldest, a year after he was due on our anniversary day. So from that first year, we didn't have near as many pictures from the, previous to us getting married. And then all the way through every year, we have a picture frame for every year. And it's so much fun to have those in the house. It's so much fun to see. And I just love them so much. But I digress. I was building the one for 2025 this year, and I was going through everything we did last year. And I was like, holy crap, we did a lot last year. Did I enjoy the ride? That was the thought that went through my head. I was like, I really did for most of it. Like I really did. So here's my encouragement for you today. My encouragement for you today is to stop focusing on what you're missing and look for one thing that you've enjoyed and focus on that. All right, guys, grab a copy of my book, Grit, Grease, and Grace, Leadership Forged in the Trenches. Hope that helps. Hope you have a great day. We'll chat with you later.